The Brandon and Miyoshi Show is back. I know you missed us, but we are here. So we're going to talk about a trending topic, if you will. Mr. Kevin Samuels. I think everybody's been talking about him. He's been added to the lexicon of people that we're, discussing now. And I was just kind of curious, Miyoshi, what is your take?
Wait. Oh, you were curious, or was I curious? Because technically,
I think together,
the curiosity was a mutual.
The combined curiosities is what brought us here today.
Okay, I just
Do you think that he's right or wrong?
See, that's what I wanted you to kick that one off, because you're trying to put it in my book, my collection. Yeah. But no, let me tell you.
Okay.
Honestly, I think I don't want to say that he's right, and I don't want to say that he's wrong. I think there are some very harsh truths that he shares with individuals that we need to hear. And sometimes people don't feel comfortable saying the things. But he's also, to me, one of those people that you love in a sense, but you also don't really like him. And it's because some of the delivery, the tone in which he speaks to people. And he's a very qualitative and analytical person. So you want to believe what he's saying because he sounds very smart. He sounds like he's a pretty intellectual man,
right,
or whatnot. But I think that when it comes to telling someone about life, I think your perspective needs to be a little more open. So I don't want to say that he's wrong or right. He's just a difficult person to talk to if you are not prepared, if you are not secure, if you have a bunch of elements that are kind of fighting against you. Because one thing that he brought up was he told
elements fighting against you.
Because one thing that he did say, he told this woman her children was a massive impediment. If someone told you that, you're just like, dang. Because in real life, yes, it's tough to date as a woman with multiple children, but it is not impossible.
That's not what he said, though. He said they was an impediment.
No, but then he went on to say that being a stepdad is terrible, and I mean, it wasn't. It's the delivery for me.
Right.
It's just that. So, what do you think about him as an individual, as a life coach? Because I think he's like a life coach or something.
He's an image consultant.
There you go, image consultant.
Okay, so first and foremost, I do not care about this guy at all. With all due respect, I hope he does well, and all that, right? So he was brought up to me by a friend, oh, have you ever heard of this guy? He's a douchebag. And I was like, what? Okay. So I listen to stuff, and I'm listening, and I don't wildly disagree. You know what I mean? And I'm like, So what I think, and I've listened to a couple of his things, and again, you just kind of get people taking little pieces here, taking pieces there. I think what he is doing is just manipulating the time that we live in, right? I think that he's an image consultant, and I think he's been doing it for a long time, and it never mattered. And then one time he kept it too real with somebody on, on IG Live, and it did better than the other ones, right? So he's like, okay, I'm going to keep it too real next time too, Or maybe he always kept it too real, and this particular time just caught, and whatever the case may be. But what I think that he is just riding the wave of outrage and sensitivity that the world is in. So it's if you say something that could hurt somebody's feelings or offend somebody, everybody's watching to see if you're going to do it again. So now the dude got more views than he's ever had. So why is he going to stop now, especially in the era that we live in of more likes, more views by any means? And because he's not doing anything that's criminally bad, it's just maybe not beneficial. You know what I mean? Or it maybe morally it's not necessary to go that hard on people. But I also think people will put themselves in this position in hopes they get some more attention. When, you know what I mean? When there was a lady on there who told him that, who said that he asked her to rate herself and she said that she was a 10. And he then goes on and explains like what a 10 is in his eyes, right? And it's like, I feel you, boss. Like, I get what you're saying. He asked, was she Rihanna? Was she Beyonce? I get it. That's not it, right? But also, to the guy that she ends up with potentially, she's gonna be a 10.
Period.
She's gonna be a 10. Your idea of a 10 compared to somebody else's idea of a 10 are completely different. That's why we're all not married or in love with the same person.
Absolutely.
So it's like, I get what you're doing, doggy. I don't hate it. I personally don't need to watch it, and I don't care if it's good or bad.
Right.
It's just like whatever. And I think that, again, everybody is so quick to be like, this is outrageous. I'm going to watch it some more. No, this is outrageous. Turn it off.
Right.
This is outrageous. Don't watch it again. This is outrageous. Don't share it. You won't believe what he said. Look at this. 10 people. Now he's encouraged because he thinks that it's going well.
Right.
You know, so I think you need people to tell the truth to you. And I think that's always going to be an uncomfortable space until you build up that like callus on your heart and or brain to be able to take information like that. But I think, one, don't put yourself in that position. And I think number 2, he's only doing it because it's getting attention. That's my take.
So that's what you think his goal is? Because at first I was trying to figure it out. I was like, is he really trying to help you? Like, to me, I think he is trying to help people, like ultimate goal. But I also think that these willing participants are ridiculous for putting them in this space, unequipped and unprepared to take on.
Sign your ass up for the donkey show, and we're gonna find a jackass.
Period.
That's it. You know you coming in there wrong. And again, but it's the culture that everybody wants to be famous. And these people are thinking, when you come in talking about, oh, I want a millionaire and you got $38. It's not impossible, but we just know that it's not going to be a obvious thing. It's not a duh. Well, you guys should be together.
You just built it up for him to just tear you apart. Like, but you have nothing. You bring nothing to the table, because he will say that. Right. He's like, oh, you want it all. You can't have it all. Yeah. And you're not going to get it all because you're at 5. Right. Like,
and it's like,
I can't with him.
It's like, yo, that may be absolutely true. But there are just ways to go about letting somebody know these things. But it's like, if I know I'm getting... It's the reason why reality TV works. Nobody wants to see 6 people in a house getting along, just having a blast.
Oh, this is so
kicking
great.
It. No, we need drama. We need alcohol. We need da-da-da. We need we need them. It's the only way it works. So,
but to go off of that, it works because we as consumers, viewers, we like that type of drama. Even if we don't want it in our own like relationships or households or family, we like, ooh, we want to see the drama. Totally. And then you were talking about like people that go and share it. I think the reason why people think he's such a douchebag is those mini clips. When you don't look at the whole, when you look at a mini clip, you've already had your preconceived notion of who this person is, what he's saying. Right. And that was me for a minute, where I was just like, I'm not looking at that. That's what when we talked about, I said, I haven't really looked at any of his stuff. Right. I had to go and like look at it, and I was like, you know what? This dude isn't awful, but what he's doing might have some moral conditions to it that I'm not favorable about. Right. But at the same time, some of the things he's not wrong.
Totally. And I think the shit is just triggering. That's it. It's triggering.
It is.
If your stuff ain't all the way together, it's gonna do something to you, regardless to how together you are.
But exactly, because I was gonna say there was a couple women that were absolutely together. This woman in particular with the kids, she had a lot of good qualities. Right. And then he also mentioned like, oh, you're pretty too. And that's one thing that really got me with almost all of the women. He's like, good thing that you're pretty, because because you stupid. And it's just like, no, you're not even accepting that person's perspective. Right. You're not even looking at it through her lens. And again, I get that we're getting the male perspective, but I also don't think all males think like that. And I'm kind of grateful that all men don't think like that completely.
There it is.
Completely, yeah. And that's more so yes, you want some arm candy, right? You want someone that's gonna look nice,
Right.
but you know, we all know that looks and those things fade.
Yeah.
He's I don't know how old he is, but he's definitely not in his 20s. He's not in his 30s. He's over probably 40.
Yeah.
And he mentioned, well, why would I want you when I can get this 25-year-old that's going to be cooperative, going to follow my plan and just behave? Like, it's just the way in which he explains how partnership is.
Totally.
Doesn't seem realistic, and it also seems kind of I don't want to say that about this man, like, because I don't know him. And
check me out though.
let me hear you.
The thing though is he's not lying.
He's not,
Because
we
there
know that
is a
he's not
such
lying.
thing as pretty privilege.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you're just gonna get away with more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And again, for a guy like him who's probably 50 something, right?
Mm-hmm.
The hard part from my experience, the hard part for men and women, right, is that women have a golden age of time, right, where they're the flyest visually, right,
And that they can produce.
Yeah.
Because we have a biological time clock. Because y'all can have babies today. Y'all
okay,
not.
but for us, right? For us, it's not even really about babies, right? But there's gonna be a time where you move from the prettiest you've ever been to the wisest you've ever been, to the most useful you've ever been, to the most complete of a partner you could ever be, right?
Yes,
but there is a time when you are a young girl and everybody wants you because you exude this young girl energy that is just like, right? For a man, there isn't that period for us, right? So when I'm 50 and you 20 and I can give you security, I can appear to be wise, and it's only because of just I've been alive longer than you. So I look like I have my stuff together. So it's not fair in a sense for women, because if you turn 30 and some 18-year-old guy hits on you, women are not going for it. You guys are too far. You guys are mentally just too far developed by that point, right? Whereas 50, I'm like, yo, she hot. She hot, and I can train her to be whatever.
That's what he was saying. That's exactly what he was saying.
It is a reality for some people.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, bro, we can't listen to Jodeci. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you gonna talk about?
Right.
So, I just think that these women shouldn't sign themselves up to talk to this man at the end of the day, because he just thinks on a different air. Right. And he's utilizing this platform to, like you said, increase his viewership, because what he's doing is working. It's just, I'm not gonna continue to watch it. Like, but I'm also not gonna judge this man, because now I've watched some of his full clips, and I'm like, okay, this dude has some substance. He's very intelligent, and I think the things that he's saying we should take in as women from a male perspective. Right.
But it's just not Steve Harvey.
It's not. It's not Dr. Phil.
It's like, think like a man, and this is how you do it, baby. He's like, you never gonna get one. And they could be saying They could be saying the same thing, but I think Steve knows you just can't say it like that. Exactly. You know what I mean? Or else you're gonna get this backlash. And some people like being the bad guy. And if the bad guy's gonna make an image consultant that we've never heard of popular, what else? Sign me up. Black mask and everything.
Put your suit on, ready to go. So that's all I gotta say about Kevin Samuels.
I go back to the space of not caring. You know what I mean? Again, he really I wish you the best, but I don't. I'm not a subscriber to the content, so it doesn't matter to me. I would never sign up to be on IG Live and have somebody discuss my life with strangers in front of strangers. No, not our thing. I don't think so. So God bless. Let us know what you guys think about Mr. Samuels. We'll holla at you.